It's time to have a sip of coffee and enjoy Fresh Floppies, episode 14.
I just kept recording. Listen up, you primitive screwheads. No.
I get that reference.
Yeah. Greetings to what did we say normally?
What's up to all our sidekicks
That's
and
right.
henchfolk out there in the mother-loving geek nation? You're currently tuning in to the 14th episode of Fresh Floppies. Noel, my compatriot, what is a floppy?
Floppy is a single issue comic book that comes to the newsstands, not anymore.
Not newsstands.
Direct market retailers such
Yes.
as your local comic shop and or hobby shop every week to tell a one-chapter story and an ongoing saga of these characters and IP that we love so very much.
Yeah.
So today we're going to have spoiler-free conversations about the comic books that are out today, May 24th, in the year of our Lord 2023. Not all of them, just some of them, and as spoiler-free-ish as humanly possible. My name is Noel. He said that already. What's your name again?
I'm JD from JD's Hero Complex, located at 4327 Main Street. It's a comic shop. It's super rad. Come buy stuff.
Come buy stuff. What's the best conversation you've ever had in a comic shop?
Oh, come on.
No.
The best?
Well, the one that sticks out the most. It could have been contentious.
Oh, I wasn't ready for this
Contentious.
question.
Contentious. Contemptuous.
I've had a bunch of wonderful conversations at the shop. That is half of the fun of the gig, is talking to the customers. I can't think of a single one that sticks out, but just people enjoying the things that they enjoy and us commiserating about that is generally the pleasant experience that I have there. So how's that for a non-answer?
It's an absolute non-answer.
Yeah.
What are you, a politician?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this? Well, I feel that all of our feelings matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that was a dead end of a conversation. I feel like we'll just move into the...
Can we edit that out?
I don't edit. I don't know what that means.
Supermassive number one.
That's right. Supermassive. You know what?
Here's the thing.
There's no numbers.
Everyone asks me what's the worst conversation I have at a comic shop. And so the best conversation is not at the top of my mind because I'm always ready to go with what's the worst conversation.
What's the worst?
What's the most expensive convo you have? And it's people come in.
Speculate, hardcore speculators.
Yeah, that stuff irks me to no end. And I just... it's up there with like, oh, you working hard or hardly working, or no price tag on it. It must be free.
That's just retail bullshit.
Yeah, I hate it. But I do have wonderful conversations with actual humans there, and I just can't think of any of them right now. So let's move on to Supermassive.
Nope.
Damn it.
Okay. Supermassive. There's no number on this. It's the second one, so I think it's just titled officially Supermassive 2023. Mm-hmm. Seems as though they're going to be doing these every year. This is a one shot that takes place in the massive universe, the massive verse. It's the connected image comic books that are coming out, superhero comic books that are coming out. That's Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, The Dead Lucky, Inferno Girl Red, and No One. Last year, one of these came out. It introduced Inferno Girl Red and teased The Dead Lucky at the end. It was just kind of like a two-hander of Rogue Sun and it introduced Rogue Sun too. Radiant Black and Radiant Red.
Yeah.
Very fun road kind of action comedy. This one is different in so much as it introduces a character from Rogue Sun's distant past, kind of like a knight of some sorts, and they fought over something they call the Holy Grail. Oh, the Holy Grail. Yeah. They fought over the Holy Grail. One of them died, the other one moved on, and now 700 years later, Rogue Sun, who, no spoilers for Rogue Sun currently, but is not the same character, conscripts the assistance of Radiant Black to help them get the Holy Grail now, and the Dead Lucky character BB is interrupts and jumps onto the ship. This is very much an accessible one shot.
Because what you just described, I wasn't sure. Okay.
Well, you literally could just start reading this and
they feel you.
Oh, they're looking for the Holy Grail. These colorful characters are looking for the Holy Grail. Great. And then they have a bunch of conversations during the journey. It literally is like a video game level. It's side quests, and then they get to the next level, and they have to do a thing, and they get to the next level, and they have to do a thing. And during those things, they'll talk about, like, Marshall and Nathan, the two characters in Radiant Black, will talk about the problems they're having now in their book.
Gotcha.
So it's all kind of contextually done. As a comic, it's very well paced and put together.
Yeah.
As somebody that's reading all the Massive verse books, this seems perfunctory.
Oh. So this is just to get people on board.
Kind of.
This is like I can hand this to someone and say, "Hey, you should check this out." And then also all of these different characters have their own books.
It's by the nature of it, it's very side questy. The previous Supermassive from 2022 felt like this is the next chapter and all these go.
Yeah.
This one, because there's so many kind of other books happening and you're all in them, this one just feels like a side quest.
Okay.
I'm sure, or at least I hope, that little pieces of this maybe bleed into the other book, but it really does feel very standalone, which is a positive, but also, as somebody reading all of them, a little bit of a letdown.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like,
well, the first one introduced new characters and gave you new series. Does this give you any new characters or new series?
This character, this blonde character on the front, and they are escaping my name. Honestly, so is their gender. I don't remember if it's a male or female. It's incredibly irrelevant to the story. They're just this artist. I forget their name.
We should say who made this book.
So it's written by all of the writers of the book.
Oh wow! Of all the different series.
They all write it together.
Cool.
So it is Ryan Parrott, Kyle Higgins, Melissa Flores, and Matt Groom. Mm-hmm. Danielle Nicolo. This is the same artist as Seven Secrets,
who was written by Tom
Taylor.
Yeah.
Which was a really, really fun book. Ended at like 14 issues. It was a really, really fun book. But the art is very anime.
Yeah. Yep.
Brightly colored anime.
Americanized anime.
Yeah.
Manga. Yeah.
Yeah. But so like, that's a male character, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a couple of androgynous characters, which is totally fine, but I completely forgot their names, so I can't say. But there's something about this art that is not super appealing to me.
Okay.
So is before. It's the way that they depict action.
Yeah.
Often it is like sometimes the panel layouts are great, but then every once in a while there will be a violent interaction, and I don't know where it started and where it ended.
Yeah.
Just the next panel. There's a little bit of a lack of like kinetic energy between panels in some scenes that seem really important.
Okay.
Which, it's a one shot, so maybe it's just a pacing issue.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna say this is fresh. Oh, also, yeah, like this main character does a thing, and I'm like, is this connected to something else? I have no clue. Like, it's very. It feels rushed.
Okay, fair enough. I see a giant dragon out of nowhere. That's kind of cool.
It feels rushed. There is a. If we're gonna take a detour into Speculation Town, with our favorite speculator hanging out on the corner, which we call Speculator Corner. There is an interesting cameo at the end of this book.
Oh, okay.
That I don't think will go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of a wink and a nod of like, oh, cute.
Okay.
So,
we'll find out.
Yeah, people could go crazy about anything. Oh, this is the first appearance in a massive book of this number of the cool. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
But
it looks cool. Looking through it, the art. I think the art looks really, really cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's it's bright, it's colorful, it's very comic booky, it is very manga-esque. I think it looks very kinetic to me, but having not read the actual story yet, I can't speak to it.
It's mostly the pacing.
Yeah.
Like, action scenes will end abruptly and or start abruptly as opposed to ramping up tension. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Of course. Yeah.
It just feels rushed.
Okay.
As a fan of all of this stuff, it's fresh. If I was just coming into this cold, actually it might be higher.
Oh, right on.
You know what I mean? Like it caters a little bit more to
to new readers.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is, I assume, is 100% the goal here.
Super great.
Yeah, Supermassive.
I'm a little torn. Like, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy reading it as much as the last year's.
Gotcha. Right on. I am so far behind on all of these books, man. I am so into what they're doing as a I don't know, company, as an initiative, as a story, whatever.
It's just like
as a universe. I think it's great. I love that Image is doing this, and there's just too much for me to keep up with. So,
I'm actually behind. So I'm on Radiant Black and Rogue Sun. I'm current. I was behind on Dead Lucky.
Yeah.
Something happens in here. I was like, oh, whoops. I guess that happened at the end of
Dead Lucky.
issue 5 of Dead Lucky,
which is a miniseries.
No, it's ongoing.
Oh, is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You think I would know that, but I don't.
What are we talking about next?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's Green Arrow #2 by Josh Williamson and
Steve Izaksky. I follow him on Twitter. Still don't know how to say his name.
Me neither. Not that would help you. It's still it's not like Twitter reads you the name.
I could have the accessible Twitter. You don't know.
That's true. I don't. So I really enjoyed Green Arrow #1, which was new to me because I am not a Green Arrow fan. But that was a nice surprise. And then coming into this one, still going strong. I'm still enjoying it. Basically, we had Ollie, and the cats are doing something.
Oh, I know what it is. I'm going to leave this all in. Okay. If anybody hears cats in the background, the door was closed, so the cat must get in.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't actually want to be in there. He just doesn't want the door to block. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So what I like about this is more than Green Arrow, Ollie does not appeal to me as a character. I love me some super family. So the fact that we've got Black Canary, we've got Arsenal, we got hints of Oliver's son, whose name eludes me right now.
Connor
Hawk. I'm into it. I love it. Ollie and his niece. It's Arsenal's daughter. Are they actually related?
Roy is Roy is just like a ward, right?
Yeah. Well.
So is his niece.
Sort of. Yeah. Close enough.
Or granddaughter, actually.
Oh, yeah. They've been zapped away to another dimension, and they're fighting aliens and doing all the Green Arrow stuff. Well, it's alien. It might be to another world, right? It might be another planet.
He makes a joke about Hal and stuff. It made me think
that's true. They know Green Lanterns.
It makes me think this is another planet.
Yep. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I wasn't 100% sure. And the art is really, really nice. It's very much in league with sort of like a Dale Eaglesham. What is his name? There's another artist in here that is very similar to.
You know what? I did not realize. Yeah, there's his facial acting is very much kind of like it does harken to Eaglesham in some scenes, especially the scene in the treehouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that was cool. The treehouse bit, I actually quite like that. So I don't know if I should just spoil it.
It's cute. Just you don't have to spoil it. It's cute.
There's a cute. Yeah, the way he gets his treehouse, the explanation for it is delightful.
Yeah, there's
very DC Comics.
Yeah, it's I enjoy that when they just kind of lean into the comic booky of it all. Yeah, this is really fun. I liked the first issue a lot. Yeah. I wasn't as hot on it as you were, especially one of the character interactions just felt a little tacked on to me. Mm-hmm. But then this issue fixes that a little bit narratively, which is cool. I liked this. This was cute. I like the central conflict. I do like Ollie. I'm not exactly sure why you don't like Ollie that much.
No, he's always going on about it's just maybe it's the way he talks and the fact that he's a billionaire and he's always talking about the fat cats on Wall Street. And I'm like, dude, relax. You are that.
He literally tries to be a social justice warrior.
Yeah,
which I'm okay with.
It's a one note thing that I couldn't tell you anything else about Oliver other than he hates the fat cats on Wall Street despite being a billionaire.
He hasn't had his own book in a while to flesh that out. Yeah. So just in other books, he's got 2 notes. Yeah. I got it. No, I like this a lot. I love the art. I think the second issue is stronger than the first, personally. like
Okay.
digging a little, like
Sure.
falling down the hole a little further.
Yeah. I agree.
The last page reveal has been the same last page reveal in all DC books in the last I want to say month. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are ramping up to some sort of event that has to do with that. And while it's interesting, it might get old fast, so they have to like there's only so much setup you could do before it's just like, okay, I get it, they're bad.
Yeah.
But they're showing up in every book. They've showed up in
Titans.
They've showed up in 2 or 3 other things I read this week. In
really?
every anthology book, they showed up in Brave and the Bold. They showed up in, like, they're showing. They showed up in the DC Dawn of DC primer. They are everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Really pushing this character for sure.
And not even just the character; they're also their boss. Like that is. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, this is still going strong. What DC is doing right now with their main titles, as I don't even know if this is a miniseries or an ongoing, but they're just putting out solid character-based stories that aren't big giant events, and I'm digging it.
Well,
Flash, Nightwing, Green Arrow.
So far, they're doing meat and potatoes comics right now.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
It's just like, let's redefine and or just do like a solid this, solid this, solid this. So DC comics are fun to read right now. I think I only like read 2 or 3. No, I actually read more than that. Yeah, DC comics are fun right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of DC comics, the next one we're going to talk about is a brand new Dawn of DC title for the We Are Legends initiative, the AAPI. City Boy, written by Greg Pak with art by Minkyu Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
What did you think about this new #1 of a new character, JD?
It was fine. So a lot of people, when it was described what this character's abilities were just like, well, why don't you just use
Jack Hawksmoor.
Jack Hawksmoor, who was of the Authority, and his whole thing, which I kind of thought was really cool 20 years ago, was he is in tune with the consciousness of a city. So he goes to a city, and he's got, sort of cybernetic feet, so he walks around. He's always barefoot, but the bottom of his feet are cybernetic. And he's able to tune into the city itself. This is slightly different than that. And I thought it was fine. I think it's off. I just realized what his jacket is a skyline.
It's an awesome design.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's a cool looking dude. Neat how that mask constantly stays on. I could never get my COVID mask to stay on.
It's because I got a fat face, so like it just never stayed on underneath my chin.
Yeah, it always would fall off my ear.
He's a much more petite profile of a human being.
But basically, we've got this kid who in classic comic bookdom, the boyo stumbles into an experiment that's going on, gets caught into it, and now he's able to sort of dip into the shadows of the city and read the city's emotions and physically affect the city, which is very, very cool. What did you think?
Same. I liked it a lot. It's much more spiritual than Jack Hawksmoor.
Yes.
You get a glimpse of his origin, evil scientist stuff, which I thought was really, honestly, kind of funny. Like, honestly, it was kind of funny. I don't know why I said it like that.
Okay.
This mad scientist collected a person, like mafia, city patrollers, politicians, blah, 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 and then just sucked them all up into a machine to like create the consciousness of the city.
Yeah.
All of these people that would know the city the most are all just kind of combined into like igniting this thing that takes him over.
Yeah.
So it's very much unlike Jack Hawksmoor in so much as it's not augmentation and it's not as controllable for him. It is a burden that he has all of these kind of the city's voices in his head, and he goes out of his way to kind of suppress it.
Yeah.
Which is a much more, honestly, that's a much more wonderful conflict for a central character.
Agreed. Yeah.
This was for characters I'd never, honestly, they're brand new, so of course I never heard of them. But with no foothold, this is a great book. I like there's no surprise appearances by another DC character. This is his book, and it's pretty strong. Like it's just
There was a surprise appearance by a DC character
at
actually.
the very end.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
which
really,
I was like, oh, that all right.
that was really good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I completely forgot about? I thought you were talking about the person before that.
No.
And I'm like,
no one cares about that.
I was gonna say that's a deeper character. That's totally
that's
fine.
a deep cut.
But
the very last panel, I was like, oh, all right, here we go.
I didn't expect that. You're right. I totally didn't expect that.
Yeah. I think these are off to a good start. What was the last?
Spirit World.
No.
Vigil.
That's the one I haven't read yet.
I haven't read Spirit World. Vigil. This is much better than Vigil.
I will also the story I do like. I think part of my distance from this is the artwork did not really speak to me. It does not feel like a professional DC high-level artist. It is very loose. It plays very fast and loose with proportions, with the facial expressions. It all feels, I don't want to say amateurish, but not quite where it needs to be a high-profile book.
How high profile is this?
Well, it's a new number one for a character that I'm assuming they hope will connect.
Yeah, when you say
it's not like Batman.
Top
obviously.
talent, I'm like, I don't think DC put their A+, just their like digital first team.
Yeah, there it is. This is a digital first kind of artist.
It's
no offense. Sorry.
well, no, it does feel like DC house style. So like you say, it doesn't feel like DC. This feels very DC to me because they do have a very specific kind of sinewy house style. That's not
Green Arrow to me is the DC house style. Like this Azaxi, this artist, he feels like what I think of in my head. It's a personal opinion. Mm-hmm. What I think of in my head as like what DC comics kind of look like, and this is below that. It's not quite there.
well, I have a less favorable one then, because in my head, what I feel about DC house style is mid 90s.
Oh,
very hatched, thin, like, and then it was changed by Eaglesham and more colorful and
right.
But no.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, when the New 52 was the return of the DC house style that I truly despised. The Liefeld of it all. Yeah. So like this upturn into like the more Green Arrow, the more Redondo,
Nightwing,
the more Dan Mora, I think is amazing. Whereas this is more in line with DC house style. I keep doing air quotes like we're in a visual medium.
Yeah.
But you can hear them, right?
Oh my god. Yeah. He's a very aggressive air quoter for sure.
There's about to be construction outside, but we're gonna power through.
Yeah, let's do it.
What is this? What is this?
I'll tell you what this is, man. I picked this up on a whim. This is Arcade Kings #1 by Dylan Burnett. It is written and drawn by Dylan Burnett. He's the creator, writer, artist, with colorists Walter Biamonte, Sarah Antonellini, and some
Antonellini.
And this, my friends, is a bucket of fun. I enjoyed the dickens out of this.
If this was any more fun, what kind of container would it be in?
A tub of fun. A fun tub.
Wait, like an inset tub or one that you could move
with
around?
The claw feet. Like a big, heavy, so you could splash around in it.
A tub, like if you just describe something as a tub, that could literally just be like a tub of ice that you move around.
Like a cooler.
You think an actual like bathtub.
A bathtub with the animal feet.
A bathtub with animal feet filled with joy.
Yeah, this is what that is. This is like, it captures the fun and whimsy of Scott Pilgrim. If you love arcade games, video games, especially if you're one of those people who goes to play tournaments and you bring your own paddle, this book is for you. It also, I would say, is Scott Pilgrim meets Do a Powerbomb.
Oh.
Which Daniel Warren Johnson, which is one of the best books of last year, and this is just really, really fun. We've got I don't even know how to describe it. There was is he an MMA fighter? In the beginning, we've got a battle. Victor McMax, and he is like some sort of MMA fighter, and then we cut to years later, and we've got this main character who has a he prefers to call it dragon fruit because someone calls him tomato. He looks like a tomato, and it's like, I prefer dragon fruit. And it's not a helmet, it's actually his face.
Is there a reason why?
Not yet.
All right.
I'm sure there is a reason, but
born this way, you son of a bitch.
It's not, because we see him in the beginning. His name is Joe. We see him in the beginning, and he's one of the kids who's cheering on Victor McMax in one of his final bouts. And his little brother is there. And then we cut to now, and we've got this kid whose aunt owns a arcade, and he's got his big what is that called? Just like an arcade joystick that you can like take places.
I don't know.
And these kids see him in a dark alley, and they beat him up and try and take it. And then this Joe shows up with the dragon fruit colored face and helps him out. And then in order to get him some money to pay for the broken controller, he is whooping everyone's butt in the arcade for donations. Like, he's taking bets. I whoop your butt in order to raise money to fix this kid's joystick. And then by the end, he leaves town, and he's on to the next adventure, and we're introduced to a big bad who's trying to get him and all that other stuff. This is so much fun. Very big, very bright. Sushan saw the coloring. She's like, well, that's definitely your color scheme, which apparently is just called like bisexual lighting at this point. It's just pinks and blues and yellows. Very, very cool. I love this book.
This it also feels a little bit like No One Left to Fight. I don't know if you ever had a chance to read that. That was an Audrey Sitterson book.
No.
It was basically an homage to like Dragon Ball Z and Street Fighter, but they got older, and it's just like, well, there's no one left to fight, and we have to like find the other land, and like, well, you're my enemy. Like, it was very highfalutin, but grounded in a specific tone. Yeah, that sounds cool.
This is very not elevated like elevated horror, but like
it's elevated in importance.
Everything's cranked to 12.
Yep, no one left to fight.
Yeah, well, in Arcade Kings,
yeah.
So I highly recommend this. If you're looking for a big, fun slobber knocker of a book, this is the one. It's by the way, perfect bound. Mm-hmm. It's like maybe a size and a half of a comic book, thick-wise. And it's got really nice paper all throughout. The coloring is excellent. So highly recommend. This is fresh as hell.
Image has been doing this with so a lot of perfect bound, like shorter series. I think this is maybe only going to be 3 or 4 issues, but much thicker. So like Chroma. Was only like 4 issues, but it was thick and perfect bound like this.
That's another one I got to finish. That first issue was awesome.
Ultra Mega was also perfect bound and big like this. Yeah, they're playing with the format, which I enjoy.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad this is a miniseries. This can only sustain maybe 3 or 4 issues, but I'm going to read all 4 of them, or however many there is.
3 or 4 issues per series, and then each series, like
per season,
24 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, what's going to wrap us up, Noel?
I'm going to talk about a little book called Justice Society of America number 4, written by up and comers, upstarts, Jeff Johns and Michael Janin. So this book has been very late.
Oh.
4 issues, but they started maybe like 6 or 7 months ago.
Okay.
Like it's just been perpetually getting a little later. I'm assuming it's because of the art. This has been continuing the story points set up in Flashpoint Beyond.
Oh, that's right.
So it's basically just kind of like keeps flowing forward. Our main character is Helena Wayne from the future, who is being hoisted by your own petard.
I was going to say,
hoisted through time 2 different versions of the Justice Society members, past, present, and future, to try and stop them from being killed by this Nazi who is traveling through time to murder versions of the Justice Society of America. So it's this character named Per Degaton, who travels to the far future and is working his way backwards to kill off versions of the JSA. So we see him like kill off the JSA of the year 333,000 and and
basically the JSA of like the
Legion years.
Yeah.
And then we're going back and forth and back and forth. It's a very fun book. It's a very
back up. He's just a Nazi?
There's
Does
other.
he not have superpowers?
I mean,
Like, how is he killing these
There's
people?
other details.
Oh, okay, cool. Is that? It just made it sound like it was just like, it's just a Nazi.
His main power is time travel and just
racism?
knowing everything that's going to happen and going back and
I
forth
gotcha.
and back and forth. So, like, I think he's powered up,
Yeah,
but
okay.
he's not, like, inherently born of Krypton or something like that.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Just a Nazi.
Just a Nazi.
Like, we're brass tacks in it.
Mm-hmm.
Time traveling Nazi.
Okay.
In this issue, you get the sense that the Helena Wayne of it all is she's not a part of these timelines. So she is the X factor that stops him from being able to keep completing his mission. So there's maybe something else that's throwing her through time. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. It's very fun. It's very big in a Jeff Johns kind of way. The art is awesome because Mikhail Janin is awesome. This is a good book,
but
it's so in the weeds.
Oh, you got to be like a DC dude or lady.
Yeah.
Lady dude.
It's one or the other. It's either you are already very familiar, you've been, or like at least you've read Flashpoint Beyond and like kind of kept the through line with the New Golden Age, and you're really into the JSA and at least have a baseline understanding of, or you're reading this and you're comfortable not knowing relationships and it just kind of you want to go look up more. But it being hyper accessible, like something like World's Finest is. Yeah. World's Finest, you literally could pick up any issue and they will make references to comics from 400 years ago and it'll still feel like part of the story.
Yeah.
This is a little less accessible in that kind of way. Like the palette that they're, or the tools that they're playing with, the toys that they're playing with are very specific old school DC toys. Mm-hmm. And I wonder, I'm aware of all these toys. Yeah. Is it really working for me because I'm aware, or is it working for me despite being aware?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah, of course.
Like,
I often wonder that. There are things that I go and enjoy, and I'm like, what would the layman think of this thing I'm reading? Would they understand any of this?
It doesn't diminish how enjoyable it is for what it is, but is it enjoyable specifically because of me, or specifically because it's very well done? Is it something
you can recommend?
Not sure yet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just like honestly, I felt the same way with Flashpoint Beyond. Like, this was a great miniseries. Yeah. Have you read 7 other miniseries to understand how this even starts?
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, even though it's a number 1 with caveat.
Yeah.
This is a miniseries that I'm really, really enjoying with caveats outside of my experience. So so I think it's very fresh, but I would struggle. Like if I was recommending it to somebody, I would probably ask them a couple of entry questions.
Sure. Yeah. I get it. 100%.
Yeah, it's very good though.
Yeah, I want to catch up on it because I do love me some Jeff Johns.
Did you finish Beyond?
Mikhail Janin is fine. I did. Flashpoint Beyond, I enjoyed more than Flashpoint.
Yeah, because it was better.
I really liked Flashpoint Beyond. I was amazed at how much I enjoyed that.
It was a really strong book.
Yeah, if you're out there and you were kind of iffy on Flashpoint, try Beyond. The sequel is actually very, very good, and it kicks off this new Justice Society.
The reading order goes Flashpoint Beyond, then there was the New Golden Age one shot.
Yeah.
And now these 4 issues of Justice Society of America, and it's been playing with the same kind of thread line of this snow globe filled with tachyon energy. Mm-hmm. Very good.
From which is related to Dr. Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A la Doomsday Clock, which still matters, everyone.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I mean, if Jeff Johns has his way, if
you're reading this,
it still matters because this is continuity. That book didn't go anywhere. Like, here it is. Okay, here it is.
I love Doomsday Clock.
So
that book is so good. All right, is that us?
That's all of it.
What are you looking forward to? What haven't you read that you're like, give me that?
So, admittedly, it's a very light week. Mm-hmm. I looked at stuff coming out and what I have pulled. This is kind of other than like 2 or 3 issues of something. This is kind of the chunk of it. It's a nice light week, which somebody that reads as many comics as me, sometimes that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I do remember potentially sampling, I guess there's a new Storm miniseries, Storm number 1. Mm-hmm. That might be interesting.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't remember anything. Supermassive was what I was looking forward to the most this week.
Yeah. Right on.
What about you?
I really want to catch up on Nightwing. I'm really enjoying Tom Taylor's Nightwing, and I'm just so behind on it, but I'd like to just plow through it and catch up because it's one of the most enjoyable books on the shelves right now for me. And then tonight we're going to be talking about on the live stream, the CultPop live stream on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. We will be discussing Punisher Warzone. Because
Ray Stevenson passed away this past weekend. The actor that played Frank Castle. He was also in a bunch of other stuff. He was a Volstagg of the Warriors 3. He was
Thor movies.
Rome. He's going to be the villain in Ahsoka coming up.
That's neat.
He's everywhere. He's one of those character actors that you see and you're like, oh yeah, that's that guy from the thing.
Yeah.
So we decided to watch the most maligned.
Yeah.
But I feel like
the maligniest
Punisher film, Punisher Warzone, that he is in with Dominic West.
Which is it's funny because all of the Punisher films are different degrees of maligned, right? You've got the Dolph Lundgren.
It's great.
From the 80s. You've got the Thomas Jane.
It's very bad.
Which I loved. It's very bad. I loved it. And then I loved it the same way I loved the Daredevil movie. Like, I was like, this is awful. God, I love it so much.
So masochistically.
Yeah. And then Punisher Warzone, which I think is actually the worst of them. But I'm going to revisit it today so that we can talk about it tonight.
I'm halfway through it, liking it even more than I did before.
Awesome.
And you're so wrong about it being the worst of all of them.
We'll see.
A TV show is the best of all, but still.
Like, of course. So join us tonight.
Yeah,
and we will talk at you later.
Do. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.